What is good? What is good, everybody? Let me get on the screen here. All right, here we go. Hope all is well on this beautiful day. I'm here in Medellin, Colombia. Right now, it's the Festival of Flowers. A big festival is going on out here. I believe it lasts for a few weeks, so everybody is in a pretty jovial mode. The weather is beautiful out here as usual, but we have a lot to talk about today, man. We got a lot to talk about. I know some of you guys are going head forward, planning your trips, even though we got a lot of cancellations through Spirit and all that good stuff. So in this video right here, we're going to discuss a few things you need to know before your trip to Colombia. The reason I'm making this video, man, because I run into so many guys, first timers here on Calle 10, and it's a lot of questions they ask me. So I figured, hey, I'll do a video because sometimes guys, they travel, they might not do their due diligence with their research, which is all good, understandable. A lot of these guys not even in the private Facebook group, so they really don't know anything was going on. They just pick a location. They might saw a few YouTube videos, but they really don't know how to move or how to prepare for their trip to Colombia, man. And I see a lot of guys kind of slipping up. A lot of stories. Guys come out here and they things happen. So in this video right here, I'm gonna tell you guys what to look out for and some things you need to know before you can prepare before your trip and while you're here. And we're gonna get into it right after our word from our sponsor at Ella Louise Cigars. Oh, wrong video. There we go.
Ella Louise, Ella Louise, Ella Louise, I love you. Ella Louise, Ella Louise, I love you. Ella Louise.
I broke 'em in your heart, never thought it could happen to me. I broke 'em in your heart, but never thought it could happen to me. I've met the wrong woman and I'm just as unhappy as I can be. I thought love was a game, could be forgotten most any old.
All right, so that was our video right there. Proud of working with those guys with that video. Hey guys, do me a big favor, man. Holla at the guys at Ella Louise Cigars, 1927. The link is in the description. Go order some cigars, some good brothers, willing to invest in other brothers. They really do their due diligence. And we got the cigars out. People are smoking them. We're getting rave reviews from everybody. We got a lot of guys that love cigars here in the park in Medellin, Colombia. They came out here. They gave out a bunch of samples to everybody. And like I say, some rave reviews, man. They really do their due diligence in the actual process. That's why I'm working with these brothers, because I don't like brothers that, do something real quick and they just throw something together and say, hey, it's black owned, gonna support me. Nah, these guys went through the fire for years out there in the Dominican Republic, working on these guys, working, with these cigars, learning about them themselves, getting master rollers to teach them about, all they need to know about, the cigar industry and everything. So, support these guys, man. Order a box of cigars from these guys and, show some support. So let's get to the topic of our video. But first, I'm going to holler at the chat, and then we're going to see what's going on in the private Facebook group, and then we're going to get to our topic, all right? Shout out to Amon. What's going on, brother? We're going to have a podcast coming out very soon, brother, very soon. Shout out to Mace Taggart. He says, Blackmen travel, salute to you, my passport family. That's what's going on. That's what's going on. Salute to you, brother. Salute to my brother Zay in the building. We got Decatur LT. He says, I'm trying to get a property out in Medellin. Who is the best to contact out there? Brother, that's a big question, man. You might want to email me on that one. That's not like a one straight answer. Who else we got in the building? Shout out to my dude, MJ Hines. I haven't heard from you in a minute, man. What's going on with you, brother? He says the Indie Animals video. Yeah, I got it waiting. If they don't want to hit the like button, we're going to play the Indie Animals video for sure. So, fellas, when you come in, make sure you hit that like button. Let me put it on the screen for you. Because we about to get the flooring, and we got a lot of information going on today. It's been a lot going on out here in Medellin. I'm not going to lie to you guys. Some positive, some negative, but we're going to get through it though. Grego, what's going on? My boy Grego says, I think there must be there must know is to go to Cartagena instead. What up? Xavier, what's going on, brother? What's going on? Oh, guys, yes, we got the Blackmen Travels Patreon. Thanks for reminding me, Xavier. We did a really good Patreon video about Eastern Europe, about Russia, Ukraine, Bulgaria, on how to move out there. So if you guys haven't checked it out, if you got some interest in going out to Europe, you might want to join the Patreon. We do videos of Colombia, Brazil, and all that too. But the Patreon is, YouTube is kind of like, you got to be careful what you say on YouTube. Of course, we all know that. But the Patreon is kind of like no holds bars, and men can really talk to other men and explain to other men what's going on in these foreign countries and how to move in these foreign countries. And I can show better receipts on the Patreon. So if you haven't already, link is in the description. Join the Patreon, man. And I'm also going to do another series on the Patreon about where to stay in these cities as well, because the most stickiest thing I'm gonna get you this into the show too. But one of the most difficult thing about traveling is knowing where to stay, choosing where to stay, and trusting the people you're booking your Airbnb with, all right, or your hotel with, because in these foreign countries there's a lot going on. Sometimes it could be a culture shock, and you want to make sure that you're staying in the safest area as possible. And you want to make sure you stay in the area where you can run into other tourists as well. All right. Because that's going to make you a little bit more safer. So on the Patreon, I also have a series on like just updates on what apartments to stay at, what hotels are guest friendly, what hotels charge. But we're going to do all that on the Patreon because that's some very valuable information. Okay, guys? Oh, Dennis Jean-Pierre in the building. What's going on, Dennis Jean-Pierre, my dude? Okay, for you, brother. Okay, Buck Travel. Is that you? Same guy? Okay, he said a few negative comments. All right. All right. So, yeah, let's get started, fellas. Let's go ahead and get this ball rolling, get it flowing. All right, so the very first thing you want to do when you're planning your trip, we're talking about Medellin, Colombia in particular, of course, is you want to make sure all your paperwork is right. Now, things do change, where you need a COVID test to enter. You don't need a COVID test. You need a visa. You don't need a visa. Currently, right now, I do not believe you need a COVID test to enter Colombia, okay? I don't believe you need a PCR test. So that's one thing. Also, but you do need a visa, all right? And on that visa, they're going to give you 90 days. It's a tourist visa, so you're allowed to stay for 90 days. Now, as far as the exchange, as far as money goes, I hear a lot of guys asking questions about the money. In most cases, it's better to just use the ATM machines here. Instead of you trying to bring over a whole bunch of money, a couple $1,000s, because, it's South America, basically, I don't suggest, carrying a large sum of money on you at any time, even if you're leaving the airport, okay, guys? So, 1,000 or something like that, that's cool. But you can use the ATM machines here. They're going to charge you a fee. You do have money exchanges. Do not use the money exchange in the airport unless you automatically have to. It's better just to go ahead and use the ATM machine, preferably in the malls and the Exitos, the grocery stores where people are around. When you go to the ATM machine, you want to make sure and be very careful and be mindful of your surroundings when you go and putting out money. Don't let nobody stand around you. If you're having problems with the ATM machine, don't accept help from anybody because you're going to have them guys that say, hey, you need any help with the ATM? No, I don't know, because there's a lot of little scams going on concerning the ATM machines here too. All right. And you definitely want to check your statements with the ATM machine because there have been situations where no money came out of the ATM and they still charge you for that transaction. So you want to be careful of that and do your due diligence. But for the most part, it's better to just use your card, the ATM machine. All right. Now, if you have like a local provider, that would be like a Metro PCS in Atlanta or a Cricket or something, and you don't have international service, yes, your phone will not work here. I've actually had phones that said it had international service, and their phones did not work here in Colombia. So it really depends on your phone service. I do know T-Mobile has a plan. Sprint, not Spirit. Sprint has a plan. You have some other phone companies. Verizon probably have plans as well. But in my opinion, because I've seen dudes hit me when they get back to America, they be like, bro, my phone bill was $150. It's better, to just go ahead and get a SIM card. Now, if you got two phones, you can have one unlocked phone. You can have your business phone, your American phone. You can keep that preferably in your room for the most of the time unless you're out there taking pictures or something like that. But you get you a little burner phone. Make sure it's unlocked. You can get your SIM cards on Calle Diaz. It's a few spots to get your SIM card. Now, once you get your SIM card, it's going to be either probably Tigo or Claro for the most part. The SIM card more likely does not come with minutes. So you have to put minutes on that SIM card, which you would go to Ghana. Not the African country Ghana, but it's a company called Ghana, and you will add minutes to your SIM card. All right. So I do get guys out here that come out here, they don't have no phone service because they thought that they Metro PCS or their Cricket would work out here in Colombia. It does not work out here in Colombia, okay? You won't get any data. You won't get anything like that. Well, you get data if you turn to your Wi-Fi. But you want to have a phone with you at all times. You just don't want to be relying on your Wi-Fi. So it's best to go ahead and get that SIM card. All right, guys, let me holler at the chat, and we're going to get to some more technicals. Shout out to Howard Cooper for the 500 pesos, Jamaican pesos. Appreciate that, brother, Howard Cooper. He said, salute from DR. Salute to you, man. So I was just out there about 2 months ago in May. This is AT&T. I believe AT&T does work down there. Okay, AT&T 10 hours per day. That's a little expensive in my opinion, but, I guess if it's a 5-day trip, it's not too bad. The SIM cards here are relatively cheap, guys. I mean, my phone service lasts from Tigo. It lasts for a long time, and it's only like 30,000 pesos. So that's like 10, 12 bucks. So the phone service out here is pretty cheap, and it's pretty fast. Well, streaming is going to be a little blurry, but anything other than that, yeah, it's pretty fast. Yeah, guys. Okay, so I'm gonna tell you. One of the things that you must know is you need to know the area you're going to frequent if it's going to be in that tourist area on your travels. Not just Medellin, Colombia, but even if you're in Rio. You need to know what's going on in Copacabana. You need to know what's going on in Calle Diaz. All right, Calle Diaz is, of course, Street 10. All right, that's going to be the main strip, the main artery of the city. That's where all the Parquilleras is at. Now, when you're in Parquilleras, when you're around the clubs and you're around the bars, for the most part, it's pretty safe. There's a lot of police out there, and the business owners don't want any of the petty crimes in front of their businesses, okay? So they all work together to make sure everything is good. They have their eyes open. They're looking around, make sure nobody comes and pickpockets you. Now, when you go to Diaz, you don't have that, okay? Diaz is the wild, wild west. Yes, it's the main strip, but I tell guys all the time, you got to be careful on Diaz, especially for the petty crimes. And this is 24/7. All right. So one of their little hustles, and I just got to be straight up with you guys because I want you guys to have a good experience when you're out here in Medellin. One of the group members had his phone pickpocketed the first day he was out here, and in that phone it was unlocked, and he had a lot of information on that phone. They went in, they took like $1,200 out of his PayPal account. He had to shut down all his credit cards. So it was an issue. He said somebody bumped into him, and the person he saw bump into him, he chased that person. It was a girl. He chased that person, and she handed off to somebody else. The other person was the other way. All right. So in cases like that, man, you really want to have either your cell phone in your hand, and I've had dudes joke around. I had a dude joke around trying to grab my cell phone right out my hand too. But I knew the guy. He was just joking. He was just saying, pay attention. But yeah, pants with zippers, keep it in your hand, keep your hands in your pocket. In Diaz, it goes down. There's a lot of pickpocketing in Diaz, all right? Another hustle they do is a guy come up to you trying to sell you something, and it'll be a kid, a really little kid, maybe 5, 6, 7 years old, kind of like walking around you as you talk to the individual. That's why it's not good to buy, any trinkets on the main strip. All right. You want to be paying attention at all times. And while you're talking to somebody, and trying to sell you some candy or something like that, then somebody else could be reaching behind you and going into your pocket. All right. And it's nothing worse because I've had my phone stolen. I think I had my phone stolen once out there in Sosua. But it's nothing worse than, not having a phone and losing your phone, because right now your phone is your computer. All right. So if you know you're going to be out there on them late nights, you know you're going to be out there solo, you thinking about wilding or something like that, it's best to go ahead and just get a burner phone. If you don't plan on taking any pictures, the phones here are like 200,000 pesos or 300,000 pesos, so less than $100, $80, $50. You can go to get a little burner phone, a little small phone, and that phone, take care of you. You have your little SIM card in there. You can communicate. If somebody does take it, it's a small loss. I have a burner phone. I don't bring my iPhone out to save the world. All right, so that's another thing. You want to be careful. Now, another thing, it's a hotel that's right on Diaz that a brother had his stuff stolen right out his safe in his room while he was gone. And that hotel is Hotel Yeris 10. All right, Hotel Yeris 10. Do not stay at that hotel because they do not hold the employees accountable for theft, in my opinion. It doesn't seem that way, because the guy's been going back and forth saying that, hey, man, somebody stole the money right out of my safe. All right. And that's happened before in Sosua. I've seen that in Sosua as well. When people come in your room, whether they be ex-workers or something, they clean out the safes. So sometimes it's not always a good thing to put your money in the safe. You really want to know where you're staying at. Make sure you look at the reviews of these places, man. Because people will blast them on the reviews, but there's so many reviews, you might not see it. Make sure you do your due diligence on where you decide to stay, because I've stayed in some sticky places out here as well. Everything doesn't have that American standard, so that's why I say I'm gonna have a segment on the Patron to tell brothers, hey, this is where you stay at. This is a good place right here, okay? Let me get to some of the comments and we'll get to the other part. Shout out to my dude, Patron. Shout out to you, brother. Appreciate that $10 super chat, man. I ran to Patron out there in Sosua. Patron's the guy that put me on the travel game for the most part. He's one of the first guys I met. One of the first guys I met in my travels around the world. He's the first guy I really got cool with in DR in Sosua, man. He dropped a lot of game on me. He was the first one that told me never let people know when you're leaving, or necessarily even when you're coming, but for the most part, when you're leaving, because in certain cases, they might try to steal from you knowing that you're leaving out the next day. All right? All right? Just murked a black dude in Barracky. I haven't heard about that. All right, so we talked about safety, and we're gonna go over it over and over again. Guys, I'm a stickler for not wearing jewelry. You don't want to wear jewelry overseas or anything like that, especially in South America, guys. I tell guys all the time. I told some guys I had met last week. They just had a little thin jewelry on. I said, hey, bro, believe it or not, believe it or not, bro, they'll take that. I've seen them with my own two eyes snatch a little chain like that, a little thin little rope chain. And I know some guys feel like this is a part of their aura, like they feel naked without it, but it's just best to not have it, bro. I'm gonna be honest with you. They don't know if it's real or it's fake. You go into a country where people don't make a lot of money on average. Don't get me wrong, you got people out here with money, but some people don't make a lot of money out here, and they're looking at that jewelry like it's something to eat. They're looking at that jewelry like it's something that can get them out of their situation. All right. So I always suggest, hey, man, just leave it in the room, leave it in America. You don't need it whatsoever. It's a different type of culture. The women are not necessarily impressed with jewelry. They're more impressed by, your status and you knowing some Spanish. Knowing Spanish and being American is extremely impressive. They'll open up to you more. All right. So it's also, I want to touch up on this as well. There are a few apps you really want to download before you even get here. All right. Apps for transportation, apps for food. One of the biggest apps out here is called Rappi. All right, Rappi is like a Uber Eats to a certain degree. They had Uber Eats when I first got here, but I guess Rappi got them out the paint, so it's no more Uber Eats. But Rappi, you can order groceries. You can order anything on Rappi. You can even order money from the ATM machine. I just used it for the first time not too long ago. I was kind of shocked myself that it actually worked. But your card that they have on file, they will actually go to the ATM for you. Or I don't know exactly how they do it, but they'll bring money right to your door. So Rappi Out is very helpful. You can order groceries, you can order drinks, liquor, you can order food 3, 4 o'clock in the morning. I mean, my Rappi bill is high, so you might want to, and it takes a little time for it to work. I think when you first get here and you sign up for it, it's going to be maybe a day or two before they can, clarify everything and make sure everything is safe to verify your card. So Rappi is one of them apps you might want to download before you even get here. That way, they can clarify your card and you're good to go when you get here. Rappi is very, very helpful. It's like I use this app every day. Everybody I know uses this app almost every day. It is, of course, a delivery fee, but it's relatively cheap. You don't feel like going to the store or whatever it is. You don't feel like, going to the liquor store or anything. You can definitely order it on Rappi. Now, another important app is going to be Cabify. All right, I'll drop the links out here soon. But Cabify is another important app, guys. Cabify, that's Cabbify. It's basically the Uber for taxis. All right. Now the thing about Uber is Uber in Medellin kind of shuts down at night. After about 9 o'clock, it's very difficult to catch an Uber. I've seen people stranded all night. It took me a couple hours one night to try to get a ride myself. So Cabify is like 24/7. You can always get a cab on Cabify. And if it's at night, I actually do suggest doing the Cabify thing over the Uber. You can use Uber at night, but keep in mind that these guys have little roadblocks and whatnot. They'll pull you over. I mean, they know people work to do Uber here, but Uber is kind of like in the gray area right now. It's not. I've heard it's legal. I heard it's not illegal. But if the police want to be assholes that particular day, they might try something. So at night, it's better to use Cabify, and of course, it's going to be paid through your card, so you don't have to keep pushing out the narrows. So that's the importance of these apps, because you want to conserve your efectivo, your cash. You want to have to keep going to the ATM every day. So you definitely want to conserve that. So Uber and Cabify. Now there's another app called InDriver, and InDriver is the app which the locals use, which will be possibly your cheapest option. I don't have it, I don't use it, but a lot of guys do. InDriver, you negotiate the price. So you tell the drivers what you're willing to pay. All right, on that particular app. And it's the cheapest option for the most part. I'm just more comfortable with Uber and Cabify at this moment right now. But InDriver, -driver is the main app that people use. Now, I'm going to also suggest downloading another app called Wise, guys, or Waze, Wise, whatever. It's WAZE. Now, this is an important app. Why do I say this? Because you can have your Uber. Some people take off the Uber, but that's like a GPS app, so you'll know where you're at all times. While he's driving, you can kind of know your destination and where you're going, because these guys, let's just say you take a taxi and you're not on one of these apps. In certain cases, these guys try to get lost on purpose. I'm just gonna keep it real. All right. And I think it was a situation last week, actually. And I know enough Spanish to be able to communicate with most of the drivers. And I'm trying to tell the lady, hey, derecha, you're supposed to turn right here. She's like, no, derecha, we're going to keep straight. I know where I'm going. And, of course, we got turned around and the meter was constantly running. So this is why you can have your app, your GPS app. You can show them, like, no, go this way. You got to just tell them, hey, don't go that way. Don't go this way. They'll try to say, oh, it's your traffic code. No. If you're not on the app, if you're not on Cabify, if you're not on the Uber, or you're not on InDriver, you just happen to just random take a taxi, and they love to do it when you're with a girl for some odd reason. I don't know if they try to dry hate a little bit. They love to get lost when you got a girl with you. It's very funny style. All right. Let me shout out to this couple of cats. I got the observer Medellin in the room. He says, tuck your chain. Don't let it hang over your shirts. That's for sure. Black dude had an N-word moment with a local Colombian dude. All right. I don't know what Thomas H is talking about. I don't know what you're talking about, bro. Explain to me, please. Grego712 says, I'm glad you used that. I wanted to use that service, but was skeptical. Yeah, these are some must-have apps, man. Yeah, we in the middle. Hey, do me a favor, guys. Hit that like button when you come in the room. I know you guys don't want to see the Indianimal video. So do me a favor, get in the room. All right? So yeah, man, like I said, it's been a lot going on in Medellin, Colombia. It's time to hop into a little story time. And I got a few more tips on you guys for your trips too. Don't worry. But it's time for story time. All right. So everything is calm now. You know, there was a incident, and I'm not going to tell you names or anything like that. But there was a couple of guys in the group, and now things are smooth over. We had a little bit of an incident. I'm going to tell you guys, you know, the breakdown, the story. Things are cooled out. I ran into both guys the next day. One guy the next day. I ran into another guy today. Like I said, I'm not going to tell you their members' names or anything like that because it was more of a misunderstanding. And I know a lot of guys are excited, you know, to be overseas. You know, this is something new, something fresh, and something different. You know, the aura of traveling, the aura of being able to stay overseas for long periods of time. You know, it's a new thing to a lot of us, including myself, right? So I know the excitement because my first time overseas, I blacked out the first night. All right, I blacked out the first night. So I understand that sometimes, you know, you're happy, you in a new area, a new environment. You see other brothers. You like, okay, that makes you more comfortable, you know. So you tend to drink more because you're comfortable, you know. And you know, in the park, drinks are flowing everywhere. You know, you run into some guys. Hey man, you drink this, drink that, bro. You know, this, that, and the other. So the park has been staying later. It's staying open later now. It was 10. It was 12. Now it's 2, and everybody kind of hangs out to about 4 in the morning. So guys, give me a second. I'm gonna go ahead and give me 1 second. I'm gonna be right back. Play this video real quick.
Hallelujah. 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 I love you. Hallelujah. Hallelujah. I love you. Hallelujah.
I broke a million heart, never thought it could happen to me. I broke a million heart, but never thought it could happen to me. I've met the wrong woman and I'm just as unhappy as I can be. I thought love was a game, could be forgotten most any old.
All right, we back. Sorry about that, fellas. Let me get back to the story. All right. I got some mods now, man. Get my big mood teeth on up out of here. All right. Get them on up out of here, mods, for me. This guy got like 10 accounts. He's a troll. We ain't worried about him, though. It takes a certain personality to make up accounts and troll somebody on YouTube. But anyway, back to the story time. So guys were drinking, and I ran to one of the guys in the group. You know, he hollered at me, hey, man, you know, like what you're doing. How you doing, brother? You know, you're the reason I'm traveling and everything. Appreciate it. And another one of my cats, another member in the group, you know, he was drinking a little bit. He came up, and he kind of stumbled on the brother. All right. Now, I didn't hear the exchange after that because I was talking to somebody else, but I guess it got a little bit heated because it was, you know, another guy stepped on another guy's shoe, and the guy said he apologized, but he didn't like the way the other guy had kind of came with him. And keep in mind, we in these travels, man, and I've told guys this before, we're all coming from different areas of the country. All right. What's cool in New York ain't gonna be cool in the South. What's cool in Cali ain't gonna be cool in Atlanta, and vice versa. I had a situation when a guy came from Texas, and you know, I guess in Dallas they call each other a certain name, but in Atlanta, you call somebody that, you're liable to get shot. You see what I'm saying? So you got to keep that in mind that, what's disrespectful here or what's looked at as disrespectful, brothers taking it the wrong way. We come from different sides of the continent, of the country, basically. So, we start, I started to pull the guy away. It was an OG, he's an older cat. And one of my guys, he's in his 30s, but he's still kind of young. And everybody's drinking, keep in mind. This dude was strong too, man. So I'm holding him back. Shout out to my guy, Flight Risk, the doc. I don't know if you're watching the video, but shout out to that brother because he helped me pull the guy off. And it was melee. It was melee in the park, man. It was melee in the park. And I talked to both of the brothers, and both of them said they apologized because they didn't want that to be the representation of BMT. Now, the guys that had BMT t-shirts on were the guys breaking up the fight. These guys didn't have BMT shirts on. But they, like I said, the guy apologized. He said, man, I ain't on that, bro. I didn't mean to disrespect that young brother. Can you tell that young brother that, if I run into him, I'll buy him a beer. I apologize. We were drinking too much. I was with my lady, And the other guys, like, he didn't understand why the dude came at him that way. And I said, man, guys are coming from different sides of the world, different sides of the country, man. He might have talked to you a little more aggressive than you're used to people talking to you. And you might have took it a certain way. And keep in mind, it's 3 o'clock in the morning. Everybody's drinking. But the funny thing was, man, the reaction by the Colombians. But looking at it, they just didn't know what to say, what to do. They were just looking at it, and the Colombian threw water on the situation. He just threw a thing of water. It hit me. So I'm going up to him like, bro, what are you doing? Like, what was that about? And he's like, oh, no, I'm sorry, man. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to hit you with the water, bro. But everything got smooth over. We want to represent ourselves well. And this is why I'm telling you guys to always try to maintain character. Like, maintain your character when you're overseas, man. Don't, like I say, I know that I understand the excitement that brothers have, a little bit being overzealous, they are somewhere new. But, we didn't come here to bring that type of mentality, out the States. And once again, neither one of these guys are street guys or Pookie Ray guys, none of that. All right. It was just a misunderstanding, and guys had a little too much oil on it. So things calm down, everything is good. Like I said, I talked to both of them. Both of them apologized. They said, hey man, we didn't mean to do that. It almost got really bad, bro, because Buddy was trying to really get at the dude. Dude was standing his ground. He was just like, hey man, go like this, bro. And it's funny, man, because it's almost like the reaction from the Colombians was like priceless. The guys just sat there like this. And I'm sitting here like, I know the police are somewhere around. They're not around at this moment. This is the main street here. There's no police around. And I'm sitting here like, damn, like, where y'all motherfuckers at? Like, I'm trying to hold this cat back. And the reaction, man, some of the girls, man, it was so funny, bro. It was so funny because my dude was walking, he was walking mad, angry, he was like, he was screaming, screaming all loud. I'm like, bro, you gotta calm down, bro. We in a different country. So he's walking up the street. My other guy, these are older guys. They're just sitting there like, they wasn't really the aggressor. He was really trying to get at the young cat was really trying to get at. So he's walking away. He's blowing up. We walking him off. I said, bro, you got to calm down. You got to walk it off. And like all of a sudden, like I see like 10 Colombian women like following behind us, and they're like, "Yeah, America, yeah, America." And I'm like, "Oh Lord, nah, this ain't, this ain't it." These girls tried to follow us back to the hostel. They were just so excited about what was going on, and we don't want that representation. But it was definitely a crazy night. It was definitely a crazy night. And looking back on it, I'm glad nothing happened. I'm glad they didn't, because like I said, it would have been bad because they got real close to connecting with each other, but we stopped it. Like I said, everything's smooth over, everything is good now. The guy said, "Hey man, if I see the guy, I'll buy him a beer." He's like, "Man, you think you still want it?" I'm like, "No, nobody wants that. We're not doing that. It's not gonna happen." And the funny thing is, shout out to Grego because I think me and Grego was out one night and something kind of similar happened to that. And it was some more guys in the group. Guys, come on, man. Come on, fellas. From me to you. And I'm going to do a video in the group, the BMT group. I haven't done a video. I did a video like last week, but I'm going to do another video, And like I said, I know that guys aren't coming out here with that intention. Like, I understand that. But handle your alcohol, man. I even told my boy, I said, bro, you need to stop drinking or something for a couple of days. Like, bro, what are you doing here? You was a little extra amp. Both of you guys were a little extra amp. All these women around, and, you doing this. And the dude even had a woman with him. He was holding a woman's hand. And I'm like, bro, how you starting stuff and you got your woman with you? So, yeah, Jay Clyde, you was there. You left. I think you left. Jay Clyde was in the building. Yo, everybody, the crazy part about this situation is I had about 5, 10 BMT bros surprise me all on the same day. I'm in the house. I'm relaxing. I'm chilling. I don't feel like going nowhere. I went out Tuesday night or something like that. And I'm just like, everybody hit me up. Hey, bro, what you doing tonight? I'm like, man, I'm chilling. I might have a little chick come over. That's it. He like, they send me pictures. They in Medellin. Not only that, I got another story. Even my ex-girlfriend from the States surprised me. So she's out here right now. She was in the park. It's unbeknownst to me. This is crazy. So it's just a crazy week. So I got a lot of people. But I think toward the end of the night, everybody started like leaving and going their own separate ways. So this was at like the end of the night. This is like 3:30, 4 o'clock in the morning. And this is the time where you got to really be careful out there on that strip. So, yeah, man, let me catch that super chat. Grego asked, was it a New Yorker? And was it a Floridian? No. It was the cat from New Orleans and the cat from North Carolina, actually. Shout out to this Jean-Pierre. What up, brother? What's going on with you? He said, Negroes belligerent from a Smirnoff Ice, LOL. Yeah, hey, I'm not gonna lie, man. Chats from the South, we just move a different way, and I noticed that because I with the group, I talk to dudes from Harlem, talk to dudes from the West Coast, I talk to dudes from L.A. Everybody is from somewhere different, and when you got guys like it happens all the time. Like you will see that even though we all together, you will see cats from Atlanta and Houston kind of hanging a little tough a little bit more than you'll see guys from New York and, Baltimore. They might be because our vibes are a little different. In the South, in certain cases, you call a man a certain word. I'm not going to repeat that word. And I have to tell a dude this from Dallas. And he's from South too. But he's from, Dallas has a different vibe. Dudes from Texas got different vibe. It's real similar to dudes from Georgia, Florida, South Carolina, North Carolina, but it's a little different. And I was telling the dude, I say, bro, don't call me that. You know what I'm saying? Like the whole it's this, that, man, you old bro, don't out of respect, because I'm not gonna call you out your name, you don't call me out my name. You know what I'm saying? Just out of respect, because we too grown to take it there. And we gotta understand that as men, that at a certain age, man, we're not on a childhood playground no more. 200-something pound man coming at you is a problem on both sides. So you have to have respect. You have to give respect, and you have to take respect. All right? So it's like, hey, bro, I'm going to respect you. I don't know you like that. We can hang out, have a few drinks, chop it up. We can tell each other about, if you got some information you want to tell me, we can exchange information. But we got to keep it respectful, because we all men. And if you got a passport, you travel in the world, you're progressive. You're thinking a certain way. All right? You're thinking a certain way. So out of respect, just already have that in mind. If you're in your city, you know exactly who you're talking to, how to move, right? Here, you don't know exactly who you're talking to. So one cat took things a certain way. But my dude from New Orleans, that might be his personality. He might just talk aggressive like that. He might not think he did anything wrong. But I had told him, I said, bro, I know you talk to my other mans a little aggressive, so I'm just going to assume that you talk to this man aggressive too, because I saw how you talking to my other guy here. All right? And keep in mind, man, you do not really know what these guys' backgrounds are too. You might be talking S cash money stuff, to a dude that's in the CIA or the feds out here. You just don't know. So it's best to be mindful and respectful of everybody. All right? Let me catch that super chat. Shout out to my bro. He changed his name. Life of Bill. Willie, I think it's Will. Willie. Change your name, bro. Mo. Shout out to you for the $5 super chat, man. He says, keep the content coming, bro. All right, let me see. Hold on. Let me see how many. Make sure we get them likes up, fellas. Shout out to Xavier Lancaster. He says, we got to be on code at all times, brothers. Yeah, man. We got to be on code. We got to be on code, man. Columbia is getting popular. Shout out to Tony Tim. Yeah, man. You got to be. Hey, yeah, let me tell you about my ex. So my ex-girlfriend, I was with her off and on for about 5 years in the States. And she's gonna call me and probably curse me out when she watched the video. So she surprised me too. You know, she was sending me pics of Guadalupe, and she's Colombian, by the way. So she's grew up in America, but she's Colombian. So she's, Latina. So she's like, yeah, Aaron, I walked through Pacayeres yesterday. It's funny, I didn't see you. And I'm like, wait a minute, you was in Pacayeres? I'm like, why was you there? She's like, yeah, I was there just hanging out. I was like, oh, seriously, in Cereal, really? I said, oh, wow, that's strange, So it was just a funny little exchange, but she's here. But, women that grow up in the Latin, they know what it is, But it was just funny that so many people came into town and surprised me, which is dope, which is cool. But the whole ex-girlfriend thing, that's a little crazy. I'm not gonna front to you. Shout out to Will the Beast for the $5 super chat. I appreciate that, bro. He said, good to see you doing well. I waited for that live stream all day yesterday. You must be in Asian time zone. Much love. Shout out to you, Will the Beast. I don't know if I scheduled a live stream yesterday, man. I might have done. I know we got a little busy yesterday. Life of Bill. Yeah, man. Go ahead and start that channel up, bro. Go ahead and start it up. Okay, we got a question from Blue Collar Lifestyle. He says, what do you think about staying in Barranquilla safety-wise? I believe you stayed in the north area. I believe that's where I stayed. There is a safe area for the most part in Barranquilla. I was in Barranquilla for a couple of weeks. Had a pretty good time. I felt pretty safe over there in Barranquilla. Barranquilla is laid back. It's just hot. It's a little humid. It kind of reminds me of Georgia a little bit. It's a little humid in Barranquilla. But it's a lot of beautiful women in Barranquilla. And the women in Barranquilla, their vibe is a little different than the women out here. I will say that. Their vibe is a little different. Medellin, you get that big city type of vibe more so. Everything's kind of moving around pretty fast here to a certain degree. But Barranquilla is a little bit more laid back. It's close to the coast. You're about an hour drive away from Cartagena. You can actually take the drive from Barranquilla to Cartagena. Real smooth drive. They drive like 100 miles an hour because it's pretty much no traffic. It's all straight shot. So, and Barranquilla is closer. So usually when I come to Colombia, I do that too. I might stop in Barranquilla first and then come to Medellin. All right, because Barranquilla is only about 3 hours away from Miami. And it has a small beach in Barranquilla too. Keep that in mind. It's a small beach. It's not a big beach. It's like a small little beach. Very beautiful cliff in the background. It's beautiful out there. Shout out to Pablo Frescobar. Shout out to you, brother. He says, plus we come to relax, not charge people up. Leave that overly aggressive behavior in the matrix. Yeah, man. Yeah, please do. Please do. And like I said, this is not the first incident, man. This is actually like the second or third incident with my bros in the group, man. So, brother, and once again, both the guys were very apologetic. They was like, hey, man, we know you don't represent that. Like I said, the guys with the BM t-shirts was breaking up the fight. So everything is good. Everything worked out. MJ said, play the video. So yeah, fellas. Once again, some key apps to download. Rappi. Most of you already have Uber. But Cabify is definitely an app you want to use. use InDriver as well. The Wise app, make sure you always know where you're going. You can buy a SIM card when you touch down. And also, you want to keep a copy of your passport with you, too. Not your actual passport. I suggest have a copy of it, whether it be on your phone, whether it just be a random piece of paper that's copied on. Keep your passport, because in certain cases, the police might pull you over and they want to see some type of identification. Or you might be going to a certain club or bar that might want to see identification as well. All right? So just keep that in mind. So, fellas, I appreciate you joining me today. We did about an hour. Okay, it's not too bad. Not too bad. Yeah, Grego. Yeah, it was amazing, brother. It was amazing, like seeing 10 women, follow the mad guy. They was like, yeah, 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 and they amping him up. I'm like, oh, I said, don't amp him up more, because I guess it was the excitement of the night. But keep in mind, I mean, they fight out here too. It's like any other. It was just funny seeing Americans go at it, probably to it. It's the equivalent of you being in your city and you seeing 2 Russian guys fight. It's something interesting. You're like, oh, they speaking Russian. Like, what they, So that's probably what And hey, the women, like I say, 10 of them, start following us back to the place we were staying at, or we were hanging at. So yeah, man, guys, just a few things before your trip. Make sure you do your due diligence on where you decide to stay. Make sure you ask as many questions as possible. Those photos can be very misleading. Keep in mind, like I say, it happens all the time. So if you can text somebody or somebody that frequents Colombia, or you can ask somebody in the group, hey, man, are y'all familiar with this building, this edificio? Are you familiar with this hotel? You ask some questions, because picking where you're going to stay at is pretty important. Now, that's a lot of nice apartments. There's a lot of nice hotels here in this area. So more likely, you're going to have more likely you're going to have a good situation. But I hear Airbnb horror stories all the time. Now, as far as safety, guys, make sure, you don't want to have too much money on you. I'm just doing a little recap. You don't want to have too much money on you at the same time. You just make sure you be safe, keep your head on the swivel. Watch your drinks at all times, guys. I had a guy come out here, first day, got drugged. Very first day, got drugged. And I tell guys all the time, I say, hey, man, if you decide to party with more than one chica, be very careful doing that, because they'll sit there and plot on you in Spanish right in front of your face. All right? So be mindful of that. If you decide to go that route, make sure you have everything situated with the safety. You might want to have a talk with your security guard. Hey, don't let nobody leave. It's little simple things that can deter someone from stealing from you. All right? And keep in mind, these Colombian guys get drugged out here too. It's just not foreigners getting drugged out here. So just keep that in mind, man. Just be mindful that you don't know this person that you're welcoming into your home. So you have to treat that person accordingly. You don't know that person's background. You don't know, especially if you meet them out there, in the park somewhere. And, that doesn't work in one of these businesses. So just be mindful of that. Little simple things, man, like, having an apartment that you can lock somebody in. You can lock the door from the inside where nobody can get out unless they have the key. And you put the key somewhere else, or you put it in your safe or something like that. Now they can't go anywhere. So if they do drug you, they're going to sit looking silly as hell, because they can't go nowhere. All right? So just keep that in mind. And also, man, hey, bro, if you know that you're not a drinker, don't come out here drinking heavy, just because you're on vacation. I get it. But if you're one of them guys, you're a one Heineken sipper guy in the States, be a one Heineken sipper guy overseas, okay? Make sure you're always within your character, man. And make sure you represent us, represent the brand when you're in your travels, man. All right? That's it, fellas. Okay, I just discussed that, Elliot, but I'll cover that again. He says, how about your passport? Should you walk with it on the street or leave it in your room? I was telling them before, I would get a copy of my passport or have it on my phone. The passport is the most important document that you have. Okay, so it's best to just keep it in your stash, keep it in your room, keep it in your apartment, stash it away, put it in your safe. You don't want to be out and about and you drop your passport. I've known plenty of guys that lose their passports. It's a headache. I had to try to get your passport back. So just make sure that, you just have a copy. That's all the police want to see anyway. Most people just want to see a copy. They know you're not going to have your actual passport on you. And you don't want people having all your passport information anyway. So just be mindful of that. Yeah, Grego says, facts. A girl I talked to out there, Colombian grandfather got scopolamine trying to get some action. Yeah, one of my guys was telling me that his friend was driving down a certain street and he saw some girls walking. Excuse me. He saw some women walking and he tried to get them a ride. And as they got in the car, they blew it right in his face. Went back to his apartment and took everything. So, just keep that in mind, man. It happens. It definitely happens out there. But at the same time, Medellin is one of the most beautiful cities in the world. And somebody asked me, he said, hey, Aaron, have you had any incidents out here? And I go, what? I'm like, no. He's like, well, damn, man, I haven't either. So what is it? And I said, man, it's definitely the way you move. But in certain cases, it can happen to anybody. So I don't want you to think that if it does happen that, it's something different or they just chose you. No, it can happen to anybody. It can happen to a Colombian. It can happen to an off-duty police officer. It can happen to anybody. But it's certain things you can do to deter the person. When you're drinking, man, it's hard to see through somebody's character too, especially when they're women. Women can be very, how that can be. All you're seeing is boom, bow, little cute face. Now thinking no more than getting your rocks off, and they know that. So you might want to communicate with the women. The more you know about her, the less likely she is to do that. Now, in certain cases, I know a dude that was dating a woman for months and she drugged him. So, keep that in mind as well. All right, fellas. So, guys, I appreciate you checking in. We're going to do another show soon. Shout out to everybody in the group. If you haven't already joined the private Facebook group, make sure you check out Blackmen Travels. Let me put that up. Blackmen Travels 2.0. All right? Blackmen Travels 2.0. Let me, where we at? All right, guys. And another thing about the group, man. The group, brothers go back and forth. Like the guy said, he said, man, I love the group because it's a private group where men can be men. And some of you guys send me long messages about going back and forth with members in the group. Listen, man, you're not going to get along with everybody. People going to have different opinions. Let that man have his opinion. I've always been on that. I let men do them. You are the captain of your own life. You find your own peace. What works for me, it's not going to work for you. What works for that man, it's not going to work for that man. As brothers, we got to understand that, man. That's why other groups of men can easily work together a little bit more because they let other men just do them. It's a lot of topics that we have in the group. I feel like we shouldn't even be discussing. But guys will always come up with a little topic or something I see to try to separate us. And I get a couple of dudes at the group, man, because I'm trying to tell them, I say, bro, stop making posts that going to cause an argument. It's going to separate us. I'm trying to bring brothers together. You're trying to separate us. Well, man, I don't want you type of guys in here. Listen, guys going to do them. I'm going to give you a secret right now. I'm going to tell you a secret for all my guys that are so anti, how can I say this? Arrangement. All my guys are so anti-arrangement. If you argue with it, you're not with it, cool. All right. That particular profession has been going on since the beginning of time, and it will go on to the end of time. If we go to space right now, and there's some type of creatures living on a planet Mars, it's going to be some Martians out there selling their ass, okay? It just is what it is, all right? It is what it is. You're not going to stop it on Facebook, okay? You're not going to stop something that's been going on since the Bible days. Whether you with it, whether you against it, whether you just in the middle, you don't care, you let people do them, It's not going to change anything. And honestly speaking, you shouldn't be concerned about it. That should be the last thing concerning in your mind of what another man and another woman, another grown woman does with their time and with their resources. I don't know how many times I got to say this, but for some reason, you got some guys that would try to deter a whole movement because of certain activities that some people do. Not a lot, but some people do. All right. And we're not going to allow it to happen. That's why I got them dudes up out the group, because I'm trying to bring us together. No other group of men really has an issue. It's just that we grow up. Man, I'm telling you, boy, some of you guys are your mama through and through. Some of you guys are your mama with a fade and some A1s and a white t-shirt. You are the inclination of your mother, of the woman that raised you. And you got to break out of that at some point in your life. All right, the longer you stay living with your mom, the worse you're probably going to be off. So the guys that left the house in their 30s, left their mama's house, they're going to have a very feminine way of looking at the world. Unfortunately, that doesn't mean they're a bad person. That doesn't mean they can't grow. But as men, we got way bigger topics than that to be worried about, especially black men. We got way bigger fish to fry than something like that. So I do love what's going on in the group currently. You got guys traveling to Ghana, posting their pictures. I love to see that as well. You're going to have some guys that want to post pics of their exploits. That's cool too. All right. Brothers are traveling, finding their own peace. And I'm going to address this one more time about this Kevin Samuels issue. Now, I did a video about this sometime last week. The Kevin Samuels come to Passport Bros. I'm talking about it because it just came up on my mind. He basically said that, you know, passport this, passport that, you're going to be that old guy in the club. You know, I'm going to say this. Kevin Samuels brings a lot to the table in concerns of fixing relationships within the matrix. That's a very, very difficult role, and I admire him for taking that role, and he has been very successful. All right, but keep in mind that the Passport Bros is its own movement, and our movement threatens everybody else's movement because you're saying that you're going somewhere else. All right, and most men that go somewhere else have some type of value to them. That way they can make money and afford to travel to somewhere else. And your whole mindset is so different to where once you really start traveling the world, once you start really living overseas for extended periods of time, it's going to be very difficult to you to have certain conversations with certain people. Because what they're going through is not going to be the same thing that you're going through, all right? Somebody calls you up right now. I'm in Colombia. They say, hey, Aaron, I'm going back and forth with my baby mama. I'm here in Detroit. Hey, bro, I don't know what to tell you. You should have got a woman in Detroit pregnant. You knew that beforehand. I got a cat. One of my best friends from back in the day. I was telling him before I start this movement, I said, bro, I'm going to start a YouTube channel. You know, I'm going to start a Facebook group. And I'm going to get brothers that travel the world. And we're going to chop it up and exchange information. And we're going to exchange money with each other. He kind of looked it off like, oh, okay. We ain't got a chick pregnant. Now he's on 38 years old, just getting on child support. I said, bro, when you're in your 30s, 35 plus, you're supposed to have missed that boat. You're supposed to be able to decide what woman you want to create your legacy with because you should be more mature now. You shouldn't be going through what a cat 23, 24 going through because he didn't know any better by getting that chick pregnant. You knew exactly what you was doing when you got. You're 38 years old. You knew what you was doing when you got her pregnant. Now you ain't got no money to travel. She put him on child support for the child even got out the womb. He was on child support. Man, I'm not kidding you, nothing, man. I gotta pay my child support, man. I can't travel no more, bro. I can't even do nothing no more, bro. That was your decision you made, and it be cats like that. That's gonna be a passport hater. All right. Another thing, the age when you travel. You being the older guy, it doesn't matter. So the woman in the club, you in the club, you're in Medellin, you're in the park, or you're in Rio somewhere, all right? That 25-year-old beautiful woman, you can be standing beside a 25-year-old guy too. She'll choose you. So it's different overseas. But if a person has never traveled overseas and had that experience, he doesn't know. So shout out to him. He just doesn't know, you know. So, and maybe we don't want him to know. You know, maybe we like the movement small the way it is. You know, we have a small niche community of men traveling the world. All right. And we're gonna keep it small. You know, I prefer it to stay small. We don't need a lot of guys, you know, with this movement right here. But I noticed that guys that do get their passports, do travel, do invest in some crypto. I meet certain type of individuals, man. These guys are brilliant. You got some brilliant brothers out here. You got a brother that showed me millions in his account at breakfast one day. He would never have known. I said, damn, bro, you got it like that? Off of straight investing. Another brother makes all types of money, Shopify. So you meet these intelligent brothers overseas that say, you know what? They got their resources together, and they was like, I'm out. That threatens certain movements. All right? It threatens. That's why they always coming for passport bros. All right? The PUA coaches is not going to rock with us. All right? I'll try to do interviews with Steve the Dean, Lucario. They all turn me down. All right? They don't even answer my emails because they know I will roast them. They know I got receipts, and I'll show receipts. And they can't show any receipts. They can't compare with this passport lifestyle. It's just not going. It's not going to happen because you're telling people to date women in a certain area. All right, women that's been conditioned a certain way, and there's nothing that's going to come out your mouth is going to change that on the way that woman looks at the world. All right. And these guys are going to be going back and forth, wasting their time, wasting their resources 9 times out of 10. You're right. And another thing, man, think about PUA coaches. Fellas, I mean, if you really want to level up with your conversations and your swag with women, befriend a woman. Not friend zone, but a woman can give you way more game than another man can. You're right. Like, it's just that simple. Every player I know got some female friend that he rock with a little bit. You know, I'm not saying no friend zone stuff. The thing about being a player, the thing about being good with women is you got to know that you don't need to sleep with every female. Some couple of females you can just be cool with. And those females will give you 10 times more game than any guy will. A woman can recognize another woman within 10 minutes. She can detail that woman. She can know exactly what that woman is about within 10 minutes. It might take you a whole year to figure out what she's about. So the whole PUA movement is like, come on, these guys don't show no receipts, all right? Now, with the whole, you know, Kevin Samuels, he's trying to tell women, you know, delusional women. He's trying to, you know, coach them to get them back to some type of rationality when it comes to dating. Go for it. Go for it. All right? You got 126 in the room. That's what's up. You can go for it. Be my guest. I've been that route before. You know, I think I was pro-black before pro-black. You know what I mean? But I know that can lead you down a road of wasting a lot of time and resources, man. All right? So just keep that in mind as well, man. Our movement is our movement. You know, a lot of brothers don't come at us sideways. You're going to have a lot of trolls, a lot of haters. It's all good because your lifestyle, you're improving your lifestyle. A lot of cats just don't want to see you improve. A lot of cats don't even want to see you shine, man. A lot of cats in your circle don't want to see you successful, unfortunately, man. That whole crab in the barrel mentality. And I think when we travel overseas, we're so far from that crab to it's ridiculous. Now you can spread your wings. All right? So, all right, fellas. Appreciate you joining the show. Make sure you go check out the Ella Louise Cigars, 1927.com. Get you some cigars. And we out. Peace.